Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever carved a bear head and then just decided to stop? Well, you're in for a treat because I did it twice. Not only did I do that, I turned it into a bench and it's kind of cool. So if you just stick around a little while, you'll see how it ended up. My name is Jeff Moore. I'm the Northwoods Carver and thanks for seeing what I saw. Here we are, everybody, and looks like I'm already in progress. So there is a unique aspect to being extremely forgetful and slightly bubble-headed. You never know what you're going to get in the end, and this is no exception. So I've already blocked out the bear bust, basically, and I'm now starting to play with some textures and starting to get that nose dialed in, and you know, it's one of those things where I can't explain the process good enough. I don't think, unless you've done it before. It's kind of, well, let's just say it's difficult, and I just kind of go with my instincts to try to make the difficult things as easy as possible. So also my approach to detail is a lot different than, say, a lot of other carvers out there. And by that I mean the origins of the way I do my detail has everything to do with it. In other words, beginning carving, I just had a regular chainsaw bar, and I was talking to one of my students about this. Bill Canziora was here, and we just kind of broke it down, and basically I did not have, or nor did I know about even chainsaw carving bars existing, dime tips and things like that, let alone where they are today. This was back in the day. So I just I was very eager to find my way and learn how to use detail, to my advantage. I know a lot of rudimentary carvers back in the day that would just carve basic stuff and it would be great, but to me, I just wanted to have a little bit more detail. And so the journey began, and it was I think I started playing around with chisels. I went after I got a few decent enough jobs, I was able to afford a couple chisels, and then I got a couple more chisels. And some of these big chisels, I bought my mallet back then, my Wood is Good mallet. I think it's a 36 ounce. Yeah. And I would do as much chiseling as I could, and I think it still reflects in the way I like to see the detail, like you can see here. Like I would just take a gouge and just go around and find my way that way. So there's a lot that I can do now with a little bitty chainsaw bar, as I used to do with my chisels. Imagine going up to a 20-foot tall oak tree, carving it with your saws, and then starting at the top and chiseling your way all the way to the bottom as a finish. So it would just be a chiseled finish. That's how I started. So a lot of times I'll stop with the rough cuts, start doing my details a little sooner. I find that a lot of times I can save myself a lot of work. Not every time, but sometimes. As you can see here, I'm just softening some edges and cupping out the ear. Slicing and dicing and mincing and chopping and julienne style ear. So we've got, you can see the other bust. I did do another bust, and I didn't film it. My bad. I'm such a bad video guy. So you can see there's a slot in the back where the boards fits. Each one of them has it. Initially I was just going to do a couple of busts because I love doing them. No matter how good or bad they turn out, I can just enjoy them. And it gives me some time to reflect and work on things. And just get lost in my music and hear the saws, in the back. You can barely hear them with the headset on. So, and I'm just kind of like dancing around here and there. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I do things. I just see something that needs to be altered, and I'll just do it. I'll rock a little bit. I'll look. I'll see a little something else, and then I'll take off, and who knows. But anyway, I've got this piece here. It's getting closer. I think I'm pretty happy with it at this point. I know for a fact I didn't want to necessarily burn it because the details on it were pretty subtle. I think I ended up burning it, to be honest with you. So, I mean, it is what it is. But you can see just having that tilt of the head and the ear posture, the postures of the ear, and the subtleties in the fur. It just is a really cool, sweet piece. It's more endearing than just a bear just looking straight ahead. You know what I mean? So I think up here, I will up here in the video. In the future, I will be showing a few tools, and it was kind of interesting that, because I knew I'd be making a video about it, and I didn't want to talk during the video, so I just, I held the tool up and said, "Oh, this is it." So here I'm using my 194 with the Samura carving bar on there. And I really love this saw. I know a lot of guys don't like them, but I love them. I love them because they're nice and light, and they're pretty dang smooth. I did buy 2 new ones, and they don't seem to be quite as smooth as the old ones. But then again, it was super cold when I was using them, and they're brand new. So I think it was really cold. And rubber. I don't know if they're rubber. I think they have a spring mount, but yeah, it was a little bit more bumpy of a ride than I'm used to. But as you can see, I'm just putting in some more of the details in the back. I always try to focus on the front, and then that's going to set the tone for everywhere else on the carving. And that's just how I do it. I've always done it like that. It's the way I've always done it, and that's the way I'll always do it. What's really cool is, here we go. We've got the set of chisels, and I'm just starting to put in these little footballs for eyes. If anybody ever asks me what the best tool is to put eyes in, there we go. That's one of those. That's the big gouge, or not the gouge. It's like a rasp that I put on the Makita. Now I bought this whole outfit, this whole thing. I got it years and years ago. I believe it was Elegant Ice is where I first saw it. If you check them out, Elegant Ice. I don't know if it's elegantice.com or whatever. I don't know. I bought it years ago. I bought a bunch of bits, and I think that was the second one. Oh, and that tool right there is something called an Osborne brush, and it's a wonderful tool, as you'll see what it does. I mean, especially after you burn, it just is a really nice tool, because it basically doesn't just sand the burn off. It kind of smears the ash, or the burnt, the burnt section. It kind of smears it all over, so it gives it a nice well-rounded effect. In other words, so that you can see, instead of, it kind of smears it around, so it makes the whole piece look pretty much the same, instead of just having dark spot, say if you flap sanded something, it would remove the char. That's a good word, char. We'll use char. So I think, so if you use the flap sander, it's going to remove the char, and if you use the the Osborne brush, it kind of smears it around. And there's a good look at the bear. And now I'm moving the other bear, which I was naughty and did not film me carving it whatsoever. I figured you got the point with the first one. Actually, no, I didn't figure that. I just didn't film it for some reason. And here I can see, well, I'll tell you what, that lift comes in awful handy, guys. Get a little better perspective. You'll see a reoccurring thing with me in bears. I do like specific aspects of them, and I don't know that I do them right. I just do them the way I feel like they should be done, and try to get as many angles as I can done correctly, because like you'll get the front part of the face where you look at it, it's like perfect. You look at it from the top, it looks great. You look at it from underneath, it looks fine. You look at it from the side, and it looks really stupid, you know. And I just am constantly struggling with trying to stop making stuff look stupid. And I'm hard on myself that way, but I'm taking some of that girth off of there. Well, you know, I think I'm just gonna sit back with you guys and watch how this unfolds. You know, I will say this though. Every time I have a student come by, or if I'm talking with other carvers and they see this, some of the stuff I do, they're like, "Man, you know, that makes me want to slow down and you know, try harder or whatever." You know, it's just like, for me, going fast is fun too. I'm just not very. Just going fast at what I call fast is fun and exciting. You know, it's like a difference between a snail riding on a turtle. It's gonna think that the turtle is like, whee! It's gonna be fun, right? And well, I'm the snail pretty much, and you know, I think a lot of carvers love the fact that they can move wood quickly and get from point A to point B, only to find out that they struggle when they get to B, or get it close, that now they're sort of like being a great golfer, but I should say a great driver of golf balls, where you can hit the long game, but once you get on the green, it gets real tricky. So I'm more of a putter. I'm a green. I like being on the green, and I like the short game. Let's not confuse this. I'm a horrible golfer. I would never like go golfing and think I'm gonna do good, but I do have a shot potentially at doing a good job carving. And it's a unique. I mean, it is slow, but honestly, something like this for me is, you know, you'd be surprised at how well. I don't. It might be I might move slow, I guess, but when it's all said and done, it doesn't take long for me to make one of these to this level, or to this. So I mean, so I got that going for me. once you get that skill set down, it's, that's the key, getting to the point where you can do something like this and do it in a relatively quick manner in comparison to just, chainsaw marks. I just like it. I just like playing with lights and dark and shadow and, expressions, and I don't know. That's my jam. I'm sticking to it. Hopefully for another 33 years. I'll be dead honest with you. I didn't know I'd be doing it for 5 years, let alone, 33, doing everything I'm doing now. Looking back, it's a joke, really. I thought, well, I can do something that these other people haven't thought of yet, and no, that's not the case anymore, is it? But I continue to do what I do the way I do it, and I believe I was made to do it, meant to do it, and I've got zero regrets. And when I look back, honestly, I look back very fondly on how things turned out, and I'm really happy with the trajectory of where they're going to go at this point. So, I don't know. Well, here's that piece all dialed up, finished. Getting ready for paint and finishing. So, I think it's time to gouge them and burn them and see what happens. Okay, because I didn't want to talk on this video, I got a mask on, so that would, and plus I'm grinding. So that is a Makita. It's like a drill sander with a soft, cushion pad on it, which allows you to, float amongst things. Well, as you can see, I already painted the bears black because I'm gonna do a dry brush on there, and so once I toasted both of the exteriors on the bottom, I go over them with the soft sander and kind of gives out some highlights. And we are now putting on the back of the bench. As you can see, my wife's sanding and cleaning things up. Here we opted to do a couple of bear paws on the bench, and I toyed around with a few different ideas, and to be honest with you, I think it's pretty cool, but I don't know. I can't remember, which is disturbing because I thought I took pictures of this bench after it was all completed, and unfortunately I did not, so you will not see the pictures. And I can't recall if I actually sanded these paw prints off, because they drove me crazy for some reason. I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks I did. I guess we'll never know. So you can see us putting the back on, and I'm just you'll see me sit down every once in a while to just get the arc of the back, so that when I'm sitting there, you don't feel like there's something prodding into your back. I just wanted it to be at the right angle, so when you sit down, you just kind of lean back on it, and it's golden. And we did. It took us a bit, but we got it. And shortly here, once we get everything figured out and bolted on, it's just a matter of pulling everything apart and getting those two bears painted. Something's telling me I left those paw prints on there. It's just, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'll do stuff like that. I'll paint something, and then I'll be like, 2 days later, I'll like, man, I hate that paint job. So here we are. This is getting to the dry brush. Now, these two bears, they dry brush so beautifully because of the textures underneath were so perfect for dry brush. They really were. It really it was so easy, and I got to the I guess to the end result very quickly in comparison to some of the stuff I do. Of course, this is much smaller, and I could really focus on what I needed to do, and there wasn't a lot of area to do it in, so it made it just fly by. And you can see my wife is right next to me all the time, helping me, handing me things. She's amazing. And okay, there's bear number 1. And we're blowing off bear number 2, getting it ready for paint. As you can see in the background, there is one of the white-tailed deer that I had to carve and repair. That was just kind of hanging around, as you can see. There's also a video here on my channel on how that got restored. But yeah, as you can see what I mean. So those swipes that I make with the saw are critical, because if you don't get them deep enough, then you don't get that nice patina. And I'm just, trying to find a little shadow and putting in some coloration. Now I'm painting the eyes. As you can see, I'm bringing them to life a little bit more and fixing to get ready. And there's my wife. Oh yeah, she's putting the Cabot's log oil on the bottom, and she's also doing the seat in the back with the Cabot's. It just makes everything look cool. We burnished the seat in the back as well. And that, my friends, is a wrap. This is the end of the video. Please, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. This has been Jeff Moore, the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw.